a four-time NBA champ, a Defensive Player of the Year, the emotional engine of one of the greatest dynasties we've ever seen in basketball.
For years, that intensity was his superpower.
Exactly. It was the cost of doing business. But tonight, we're diving into a really uncomfortable question. Is a future Hall of Famer actively, right now, dismantling his team's season and maybe even their legacy, all because of, well, a stunning lack of self-awareness?
That's the conflict, isn't it? That's what all the sources we looked at today are pointing towards. The headline is simple. Draymond Green can't keep doing this.
And it's so much more than just getting ejected from a game.
Oh, way past that. The material we've analyzed shows this dangerous tipping point. You have the arguments, the objections, all of that merging with, frankly, just poor performance.
Specifically the turnovers.
The efficiency-killing turnovers. It's a disaster on two fronts.
Okay, so let's set our mission for this deep dive. We are trying to understand this internal crisis happening with the Golden State Warriors.
Right. We need to look at the context, the behavioral stuff, the statistical regression.
And what it all means for the power structure, the hierarchy of that team.
Absolutely. How does a dynasty react when its most volatile star is also, statistically struggling? We're going to get into the surprising numbers behind it all.
And we have to start with the most dramatic piece of evidence. The moment the head coach just drew a line in the sand.
Refusing to put his star player back in the game.
In a must-win game. So let's start right there. This explosive incident between Draymond Green and Steve Kerr.
A game they absolutely had to have. The analysis really stresses this. They need to win every single game right now just to stay in the hunt.
And Kerr benches Draymond for the entire last 20 minutes of the game. The fallout was, it was stunning.
And Kerr didn't mince words afterwards. He flat out said Green was out of line with what he said.
He also said he would not have gone back to him no matter what.
And what's so fascinating is, look, this isn't new. Draymond and Kerr have been arguing for years. We've seen it.
Sure, it's part of their dynamic.
But the consequences are new. That's the key. For a decade, Draymond's defensive genius, his passing, it gave him this bulletproof shield.
But the sources we're looking at, they're suggesting that shield is just gone.
It's gone. The whole power dynamic has shifted, and it's why Kerr could do this. The simple truth is, right now, Draymond Green needs the Warriors more than the Warriors need him.
And that's not just a feeling. It's backed up by hard numbers.
Oh, absolutely. Consider this. This season, Draymond has more fouls and more turnovers than he has made field goals.
Say that again. More fouls and turnovers than baskets.
That's right. It's not just inefficient. It's a net negative every time he's on the floor with the ball. He's shooting 40% from the field, 30% from three.
Which just completely changes the conversation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for an offense that relies on spacing and movement.
Right. If you're shooting 40%, defenders can just sag off you. They can clog the paint, make life 10 times harder for Steph Curry.
So the value you brought with your intensity, it has to outweigh the cost of your volatility.
And right now, that scale is tilting, and it's tilting hard toward the cost. The efficiency just isn't there anymore.
And that brings up a really interesting question for you listening. When a star's production dips this much, how long should a coach tolerate the behavior that he used to overlook? Let's unpack that. What was the value he used to provide that maybe isn't there now?
It's a tough question for any organization.
And we have to pause here because, look, we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Draymond Green is a legend.
No question.
You can't talk about this crisis without acknowledging the 4 rings. He was untradeable. He was indispensable to those championships.
That chemistry he had with Steph Curry was, it was almost telepathic.
And his impact, playing that small ball 5, running the offense, defending every position, it might never be replicated by someone his size. He's an all-timer.
And that legacy is exactly why this is all so difficult. For him, for the team, for the fans, it's a really tough reality check.
So what's the current reality according to the sources?
The sources force a really hard assessment. While he's still a very good defender, he's no longer the best defender in the world. He isn't at that absolute elite level on either end of the floor anymore.
Yeah, the analysis breaks the league down into, 3 simple groups.
Yeah.
You've got Steph Curry in a class by himself.
Right.
Then you've got your ultra-elite guys like a Jimmy Butler who can just will a team to win. And then there's everyone else.
And the cold, hard take is that Draymond is now, for the first time, squarely in that everyone else group.
And that's the crucial link here.
Exactly. When a player drops into that group, even a legend, you lose that leverage. You can't be doing things like this every other night when the team is fighting just to get to 500.
The production no longer justifies the disruption.
The Warriors can survive a bad game from an average player. They cannot survive a self-inflicted ejection from one.
Which brings us to another perfect example of this. Just 2 nights before the Kerr argument, he gets himself ejected.
For going after 6'1", Colin Gillespie.
Right, but what makes this so telling is the context. The sources draw this fascinating contrast.
Just 2 nights before that, Dylan Brooks, a guy known for this stuff, was taking cheap shots at Steph Curry.
The franchise player, the face of the organization.
The sources call Brooks the perfect target. I mean, if you're Draymond Green, the enforcer, the protector, that's your moment.
That's the moment to step up and show you're still that guy.
But he didn't. He didn't engage Brooks at all. Instead, he waits 2 nights and goes after one of the smallest guys on the floor.
And then his justification afterward.
It was pure deflection. He said, I didn't really get under his skin. I just said what he said back to me. He takes no responsibility.
And the criticism in the source material is blunt. Ignoring the guy who went after your superstar to pick on the smallest guy on the court, it makes you look soft.
It looks like performance art, not protective instinct.
So if we connect all this volatility, the arguments, the ejections, it all seems to lead back to one systemic problem.
The turnover crisis. This is where it gets really, really bad. The stats are a tactical nightmare.
What are we talking about here?
Draymond Green currently has the highest turnover rate in the entire NBA.
The highest.
And it's by a very, very big margin. It's not even close.
And when he's asked about this, about the turnovers being the source of his frustration, there's just no accountability.
None. He claimed he was not frustrated at all and said he only had 1 turnover today during his minute.
Right, and he added that he essentially ran our offense in that limited time.
Which is just undermined by the facts. He played 18 minutes, he had 2 assists, 1 turnover in half a game doesn't erase the season-long reality.
For an offense built on precision and timing, the highest turnover rate in the league, it's not just inefficient, it breaks the whole system.
It kills their identity.
And the source material gives us some really painful, specific examples of how these turnovers are costing them games.
Look at that recent loss to the Blazers. Steph Curry goes nuclear, 48 points, 12 threes, an absolutely perfect game from him.
And they still lose.
And the analysis points directly at the turnovers. Draymond had 8 in that game. 8. Then he had 5 the very next game against Phoenix. Both were narrow losses.
And these aren't always like aggressive, good idea passes that just miss.
No, the tape shows a lot of them are just lazy. There's a lazy turnover on a pass to Quentin Post where Green gets furious, but it's just a bad pass.
I saw that one. And another where he's just casual with the ball in transition, and it gets picked off easily.
Right. Now, to be fair, the sources do mention some mitigating factors. Sometimes a teammate slips a screen or floats to the wrong spot.
Sure, it's not always 100% on him.
But those are the exceptions. You don't get the highest turnover rate in the NBA by accident. It's a pattern of bad, lazy passes. And that is a massive threat to their offense.
And this is where the analysis makes a really painful but necessary comparison.
Yeah.
It brings up Klay Thompson.
Another dynastic champion.
Absolutely. And we all saw Klay struggle. He even lashed out a bit when his role changed. When he's moved to the bench, got fewer touches.
It's so hard for players with that kind of legacy to accept a new, smaller role. Klay had the physical regression from injury. Draymond is dealing with skill regression.
And the similarity the sources point out is that Green hasn't quite realized he needs to take a step back in certain areas of his game.
Meaning he can't be the primary point forward whose every decision is perfect anymore. That's the step back he needs to take.
So what does that look like? Less playmaking, more focus on screening and defense.
Probably, because the consequence of not doing it is severe. He is hurting this team in more ways than just one.
And they're a team that's just struggling to even reach 500.
They can't afford it. They can't afford the inefficiency, the turnovers, or the ejections. The message from the sources is clear. He has to lock in and be better.
The stakes are just incredibly high. So here's the question for you to think about. If this keeps up, the behavior, the turnovers, what specific step back should the coaching staff force Draymond Green to take? Should his minutes be tied to his turnover count? Should Chris Paul just run the offense full time?
A lot of tough choices ahead for them.
Let us know what you think in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to The Deep Dive so you never miss our next analysis.
I mean, at the end of the day, the core tension here is that conflict between his incredible, invaluable legacy,
Heart of a dynasty,
and his current reality, which is a polarizing player whose performance just doesn't justify the drama anymore, not for a team this desperate to win.
Yeah. For a team built on precision and chemistry, his combination of the league's highest turnover rate and
Hmm.
this volatile behavior, it's a critical threat. They have to get either the efficiency or the discipline back. They can't afford to lose both.
And that leads to one final provocative thought for you to chew on. The sources compared Draymond's struggle to Klay Thompson's. So if the Warriors eventually have to part ways with one of their champions to get some future stability, who would the team be more willing to move? Based purely on recent performance and cost. Klay with his shooting inconsistency, or Draymond with his possession inconsistency and all the volatility that comes with it.
That's a tough one.
It really makes you think about the leverage you lose when a legend becomes a liability.